Итак, дамы и господа, добрый вечер. Мы рады приветствовать всех участников и гостей международной онлайн-сессии Follow-up Siberia «Общение без границ». Сейчас онлайн-трансляция нашего мероприятия ведется на официальном сайте euronews.com, на официальном сайте пресс-центра России сегодня, где мы, собственно, и находимся, а также в официальных аккаунтах компании Норникель в Фейсбуке и в Ютубе. Так что смотрят нас сегодня гораздо больше людей, чем собралось сегодня в зале. 29-я зимняя универсиада, которая пройдет в Красноярске в марте следующего года, должна стать самой дружелюбной универсиадой, может быть, и вообще спортивным соревнованием в истории спортивных игр. Мероприятие, которое будет объединять государства, людей, народы, поколения. И для этого мы начинаем готовиться к ней сильно заранее, я бы сказала, а именно налаживать международные контакты, налаживать отношения с нашими партнерами, со всеми людьми, которые любят, уважают спорт, уважают честную конкуренцию, честные соревнования. Компания Норникель, генеральный партнер универсиады, разделяет эти ценности и участвует не только финансово, инвестициями в подготовке соревнований, но и...
Welcome, Ms. Безнежных. Oleg Mantytsin, President of the International University Sports Federation. Welcome, and Mr. Ilya Averbuk, honored Master of Sports and Figure Skating, the 2002 Olympic silver medalist, Salt Lake City. Welcome. Larissa Gennadievna, the first question goes to you. The Nornikel company considers there's competitions not only as sports, this is much wider. As I told before, these are competitions that can unite people, and thus it becomes a platform for constructive, bright, and effective communication. Please tell us more about the Follow-up Siberia. What are the goals set for this support campaign? Good afternoon, good evening, distinguished colleagues, dear colleagues. For Nornikel, the Universiade is not only general partnership. It is also a way to showcase to everyone interested in the Universiade the following. This is very promising. The Siberian part of Russia is very promising part of the nation. Sports plays a huge role for everyone engaged in sports, as well as students and adults. Not only it favors fair play and level playing field at sport competitions, but it also boosts international communication. And we are sure that the Krasnoyarsk Universiade will not only help the participants and guests to make sure that this month, February, is not one of the best months to enjoy Siberia and its climate. You will also know that the Krasnoyarsk people, the Siberian people, are welcoming, are hospitable, and would like to develop their territories through these beautiful projects. We believe that this communication platform, as well as the project we're launching today, the Follow-up Siberia, no doubt is a good illustration to the way people united, willing to know something new and opening up the horizons. They also get such a chance if they want to, because Follow-up Siberia is a competition, and this competition is this. Modern social media users are able to post online barriers, still and video pictures taken themselves, and they can share, we can find what they share with the Siberian people. And no doubt this will be hashtagged as Follow-up Siberia, and this content to be published in the social media. It will be closely followed by an ad hoc competition committee, so that the authors of the best, of the most engaging media are invited to attend various events in Siberian cities, including those in the framework of the Universiade. Of course, we do expect that the first ones to participate in this project will be bloggers, as well as those actively engaged in communication via social media. We would like to reach out to all those who will find this thrilling to discover not only the world of sports, but also the world of travel and interaction and cooperation between various continents. And the first questions we received regarding the launch of this project, they highlighted the wide cross-continental interest to the university, which we consider to be a pleasant sign. And finally, I would like to point out that all the Universiade participants, all those dealing with the preparations, these are professional athletes as well as the organizational committee and various partners. We all share one single important goal. We want this sports competition in Krasnoyarsk to give the world a number of well-known sports names. Sport, of course, is one of the most universal ways to define the fastest, the best ones, the most talented. It is also a way to show, to demonstrate to yourselves and to others, but despite all the difficulties we're living through nowadays, there are eternal values, and one of these eternal values is the ability of people to communicate with each other, to share, to be united, and to stand together. And we do believe that the Krasnoyarsk Universiade will provide this brilliant example of friendliness, cooperation, and partnership that the Follow Up Siberia project will promote even to a higher horizon. And the interest of participants, of bloggers and web users is very important. And this is a turning point. So nowadays, people are being invited, and Siberia is often associated with a dull place. And if you ask any foreigner, if you ask the following question, what do you know about Siberia? This is what I heard at the Sochi Olympics. We know why you are so good at talking about the Olympics, because you have this accreditation badge. If you tell bad things, you will be expelled and sent to Siberia to cover up the whole snow, to clean the snow. I would like to specify that it is a competition for Siberian people, or is it like an association game? People knowing nothing about Siberia, should they find out something Siberian about them? Should they share these still images or videos? We hope this competition, this contest will be open to anyone. Of course, those from Siberian cities will get a chance to showcase the place they live in. We would like to invite the residents of other cities to find these associations. What are their ideas about the Siberian lifestyle? What they are in for? Thus is how you strike this communication. Thanks to the Siberian people, you can know more about the region, you can share pictures, your experiences, and then you can find something with Siberia that you actually share. So, like, consider Siberia as a planet. Yelena, you are in charge of the Universiade support project with Nornikel. Please tell us more what this support includes, apart from the follow-up project. First and foremost, this is this general partnership. And this general partnership started more than 2 years ago, when we decided to support the Universiade, not only through making available our facility, the Bobrovy Log. We also decided to support various activities associated with the support of the Universiade, as well as its legacy. We are going to focus on later on. What is it to us? Of course, this is great responsibility. I would like to highlight that the Bobrovy Log is a flagship project that was built 10 years ago by Nornikel, and it has become the basis for this bid to hold the Universiade. Over 10 kilometers of tracks, 14 tracks. These are new sports facilities. It is worth mentioning that this facility is multi-season one. The audience, the annual audience is around 300,000 people. And it's not only popular with the Krasnodarsk Krai region residents, it ranks among the top 10 skiing resorts in Russia, and this is our badge of honor, because the region of Krasnoyarsk and the city of Krasnoyarsk holds such a facility, attracting attention of both children and adults. Apart from the fun park Bobrovy Log, we have refurbished this facility, adding state-of-the-art live video feed, as well as security systems required today. We're also transforming the territory around this sports facility. And that's crucially important, because all citizens should not only boast their sports facilities, but as well as the overall architecture and infrastructure, because all people, be those bloggers or students participating in the games, they should be able to enjoy the beauty of this city. That's why we are working on this platform in front of the Bobrovy Log. For this reason, we signed an agreement regarding the lighting facilities, and you can show this in the one of the banknotes. We are working on the embankments refurbishing, and we will also focus on other facilities representing the city, but our support is not limited to that. When we started working on this project 3 years ago, on the marketing plan, the promotion plan, jointly with the Directorate and the FISU, we were absolutely clear that the number of students visiting the Universiade in 2019 should be as high as possible. As you know, people were not willing to visit Siberia for several centuries. I was born in that region, and I've lived the whole of my life there. I would like to showcase the beauty of it, because March is quite a cold month in the region. But I hope people will be able to melt this cold with their hearts. This is not just words. They will be able to show the beauty of it with their heart. Siberian people are proud of this city, and it is also a chance to share with others their history, their culture, their fellow village residents, their neighbors. And I'm pretty sure when you visit the Siberian Federal University, which is the basis for hosting the whole Universiade in 2019, I believe you will see how enthusiastic all the students are about the upcoming event. And now, regarding other activities out there, interestingly enough, volunteers get increasingly engaged. This year has been declared as the Volunteers Year by the President of the Russian Federation. Each of us has been a student themselves. We do know that volunteers... Who are volunteers? They are representatives of the hosting institution. It depends on them. How willing are people to give you street indications? Each of us has traveled around the world, and when we visited the city of Almaty last year, we could tell how welcoming they were, and people were really prepared. And we launched this competition for volunteers jointly with the Universiade Directorate. Over 10,000 people took part in the competition. And what is the total number of volunteers scheduled? Over 3,000. But these should be prepared people, having good understanding of the history of the land of the Russian Federation, having a good command of foreign languages necessary to host delegations from other countries, knowledge of culture, and a good understanding of the place, so that only correct indications are given. That's why that was really important to us. And we have a very famous Olympic university that helped the Siberian University to develop this volunteer preparation program. And Oleg Vasilievich took part in this preparatory works. Indeed, the program developed will help Russia to be at its best and share with others our Siberian hospitality.
Apart from that, we have a lot of other activities that are not targeted at inviting only international guests. We also have a lot of events that we support and that we elaborate together with the directorate of the UniverseAid that would help the children, as they are the future of this country, the future of UniverseAid, because that is the audience that all our activities are targeted at. And we come up with lessons of UniverseAid, which are very critical for young students and participants of the UniverseAid. And we also arrange the different gifts, handcrafted gifts. And another project is a story of one victory. But the test events that were held this year, so right a year before the UniverseAid, we had test events at Bobrovy Log and other facilities of Krasnoyarsk, showed that Krasnoyarsk is capable and ready for hosting an event of this level. So what will the effect to Bobrovy Log be after the UniverseAid? Well, if you are talking about the heritage, the legacy of UniverseAid, that is like a point of attraction. Well, we hope that like before, and it has been active for 10 years, and it attracted over 3 million in 2016, and we believe that it will be over 5 million next year, and we are sure that we would be able to show the level of facility usage as it should be. And we do not need golden elephants of Lillehammer in Krasnoyarsk Krai. And now we are in a working group together with the Ministry of Sport and other stakeholders on elaboration of a separate project and program of using all facilities of UniverseAid. And they are multi-season facilities, so they have to be used both in winter and in summer. For example, our block will host basketball and football and other kind of sports activities. And what we are considering now is hosting winter sports events, but afterwards we will have to use them in summer as well. And Siberia demands a lot of investment and operation activity. That is why, as for the legacy, we need to elaborate a program of using the facility all year round. And Siberia has a large potential for that, because the population is young, and the Ministry of Sport is putting together a program on training the coaches and managers for servicing these facilities. And I believe future Olympic champions will also grow up there. Yes, first future UniverseAid participants and afterwards Olympic participants. And we have very famous FISU ambassadors. Thank you very much. And Niaz, our guest and representative of Euronews, I believe is very willing to go to Siberia now. And Niaz, before the session, confessed that he had never been to Siberia. So why does Euronews decide to join up this project? And what do you know about Siberia? Are you preparing your picture for follow-up competition?
Very much, thank you. Well, firstly, Euronews is delighted to be here. We're really excited to be partnering in this project. What do I know about Siberia? Sadly, you're correct. I've never been to Siberia. I've been to St. Petersburg and Moscow many occasions. But, you know, we genuinely are excited about this project. If you know Euronews, you know that it exists to empower its audiences. Our motto is all views, all people, all welcome. And I think this project really gives us something new and fresh to give our audiences. Firstly, the cross-cultural exchange of young people and students is a fantastic way to deliver authentic stories for our audience. We broadcast in 12 languages, and there's a reason we do that. We do that to speak to people in their mother tongue, but also to allow people to hear stories from all over the world. So our journalistic teams in 12 different countries are really getting the genuine, authentic stories from on the ground. And this project, in a way, mirrors what we do every day, because we will be following the students embedded in their teams as they go on this voyage of discovery in Siberia. And we will be using our television and social media and digital platforms to convey this story and all the experiences that the students get to embark upon through these platforms. And so you have something that isn't linear as you'd expect from TV, but in this new digital age, it can become a very immersive experience. So an international audience can really follow the personalities, the people, and really kind of live what they're experiencing. So from that point of view, from a programming point of view, we find it very exciting.
Спасибо большое.
Thank you very much. And it's true that Russia knows Euronews very well and is familiar with its content, and we are sincerely grateful to you for being ready to immerse into the history of Siberia and get to know about its present-day life. And as for the stereotypes about Siberia, you have just said that you have been to Moscow and St. Petersburg, but that is great difference. Mobile telegroup of Follow Up Siberia has been to the key April event, that is Krasnoyarsk Economic Forum, and they had a poll there devoted to what you know about Siberia, what is Siberia, and let us have a look at the answers the participants of the Economic Forum give. We represent the project Follow Up Siberia, that is to tell the guests of our city about Siberia. What foreign stereotypes about Siberia are you aware of? Well, apart from the trivial cold, bitter cold, severe frost, darkness, bears in the streets, severe cold, fierce frost, I'm always asked, where are your bears? If it were not for the bears, everyone would have died out in Siberia. By all means, bears and ushankas, people are surprised that it is possible to live in Siberia. There's another stereotype that Siberians are malicious, evil, and sulky people, harsh, unfriendly. But to tell you the truth, I reckon it is not so at all. What is Siberia? True Siberia can be described with three features: heaps of snow, kind-hearted people, tables laid lavishly. Siberia today is very progressive and innovative, people that are warm-hearted and at the same time robust. What are the three characteristics of a true Siberian? Calm, self-confident, and well-wishing to guests and foreigners, and it is true. An open, kind, and brave person. A Siberian is a true Russian soul that is best preserved in these frosty conditions. Siberians are very hearty, cheerful, and open people, educated, smart, and there are even representatives of intelligentsia. What are the things that Siberia can be proud of? I believe that, first of all, that is the nature that we have that is still preserved. Nature, air, resources, and most importantly, people. Those who've been here at least once are well aware of the climate diversity that exists here. The soul of Russia seems to be here, in Siberia. This open-heartedness, purposefulness, benevolence, and willingness to help, find a way out. Life to me is a journey, and Siberia is one of the best routes. So those who have not been eaten out by bears are representatives of intelligentsia. Siberia is truly called the heart of Russia, and I believe there is good ground for that. At least these people are really unusual, extraordinary, and that is an extraordinary place. Ilya, you are the director of the opening and closing ceremony for Universiade 2019, and I believe to you all that you hear now and all that you are going to witness during the year in this Follow Up Siberia project will be a flow of impressions to you, the most unusual and brightest stereotypes or some unexpected turns in the views of people and unexpected associations can be used in the ceremonies. I don't know how you would be able to do without a bear and how you would show a smart Siberian who is a representative of intelligentsia, but you will have to call your fantasy and imagination to that. Thank you very much, and I'm really deeply privileged to be the director of the opening and closing ceremonies. And myself, I have participated in University in Jaca in Spain, and when I was marching along the stadium alongside athletes who represented this country, I could not even dream of hosting Winter Universiade and being director of closing and opening ceremonies. That is truly a large and significant part of the whole Universiade, because the opening ceremony, for example, sets the tune and gives the impetus, broadcasts the energy and the understanding that goes all along the event afterwards. And as for the closing, we all draw up the conclusions, and I believe that this ceremony will be somewhat sad when we relay the flag to the next country hosting the Universiade. And I'm really pleased to be at the very beginning of the path, and we have been recalling Kazakhstan, and it was in Kazakhstan where the flag relay took place, and I directed that block as well. So we have been following this path for a long time, and the preparation for the event started long before the present day, and it is all planned work and huge work done by Nornikel in promoting the brand of this country. And today it is needed like never before, because the white snow and the pure white atmosphere, where the winner is really the strongest and the best trained and prepared, when it is all done according to the rules and benevolence, that is a good starting point for building our new rapport. Because now sometimes you wish to say, stop. And like in any, so the white snow is like a clean leaf. Yes, so that is the white story, and I believe that is a very good story. And Siberia is a region, and we have heard it in the comments now, where everybody was focusing on that a person who is true, strong, and sincere lives, not so maybe worsened by civilization. So there are stories that everybody needs, not only Russia, and that is student, university games, the games of the young, those who look into the future boldly, and that is the future for the all countries, and therefore we cannot overestimate this event. It is of colossal meaning and significance, not only in terms of sports, but also in terms of communications and negotiations and getting to know each other. When young people learn more about each other and can build their future plans. And it is great that we are hosting this university. There is always skepticism, but we do need it, and we can sense physically when we go to Krasnoyarsk and see the beautiful airport that meets you, and the further road where all the facilities are constructed really increase this feeling and this emotion. And Elena was referring to all the facilities and bridges. That is really great. And talking about the opening ceremony, I can say that a lot of work is being done, but I will not give you the specifics. But you are totally right that the most important thing today is that everything is really fast and communication is instantaneous. And this project, and everything can change, but this project will be like a spark that will be incorporated into both the opening and closing ceremonies, because we need to speak the language of the youth, the language of those who participate in it directly. We need to talk about our country. Like some time back, we brilliantly spoke about Kazan when it hosted UniverseAid, and a lot of people learned about this region of Russia, and we talked about Sochi. So my task now, within the opening ceremony, is to tell everyone about Siberia, its riches, about our native land, and about our openness. We will have a lot of white color used, and we will say that we are four and we are now sitting at a white table, and it is not by chance either. It is all great, and I will be happy to entertain all your questions about the ceremony, but again, without going into detail, because the intrigue should be preserved, and that is the magic of the ceremony. But the opening ceremony will be devoted to the youth, I will reiterate, and it will be different from the wonderful ceremonies that we had before. And the opening of the Sochi Olympics is still the best, at least for me, in terms of the presentation, and we are innovators here, and the benchmark is set really high in this country, and we pay a lot of tribute and hold it significant, these ceremonies and this event. Are you using your own creative power, or are you attracting the best practices globally? And now I'm not talking about the creative impetus that the follow-up competition participants can give you, because you can imagine what motivation that is for them if they see the opening ceremony and understand that Averbuch has taken their idea. So that is like charity. But we are... So I meant another thing. I meant well-known directors and other participants. So what I can say is that nobody would do this alone, and I have a large team of people who are thinking in the same way as I am. Is it an international team? No, let me be frank. They are all our compatriots. And so far, we have enough creativity, but naturally, we are backed up by international experience and best practices, and we really respect what has done before. And I have studied a lot of ceremonies, and there are some things that are really fantastic, and they can be added on. And there is no skepticism here, but the team is really wide and large, and nobody would abandon some new ideas, naturally, or inspiration, because this link, this connection is really true. Because sometimes you are really taken far away and you believe that everything is right, but in reality, people would like to hear and see another thing. So the more we hear each other, the more truth we would get. Yes, you are right. It is important to read associations and the mood. And you were totally right to notice how important communications between young people is. So these are the people whose consciousness is not blurred with the stereotypes that we have.
Oleg Vasilyevich, we have questions coming in by journalists from India, Sports Mirror. This is a sports online portal. And the question is, what are you going to do with the sports facilities after the UniverseAid? What role will they play for the development of youth sports? Thank you very much for this question from India. You can tell they care about this. I would like to make a digression, and I'll get back to taking this question later. we have a very friendly discussion here. I would like to express my appreciation for the Nornikель for joining us. The company pays a great deal of attention to this project as well. It is not only about Krasnoyarsk 2019, the company also supports educational projects. That's why I believe this is a very good example for business community representatives. This is a very good example for representatives of the business community regarding the integration into socially important projects. This plays an important role for building the culture of the young generations of the youth. Sport is not limited to high-performance sports. It's also about building a culture. Regarding the use of sports facilities, it's not the responsibility of the Youth Federation. This is the responsibility of the government of the Russian Federation and the regional government of the Krasnoyarsk Krai region. I tried to narrow down this question regarding the legacy. Indeed, the legacy is one of the components. These are the sports facilities, and of course, the city of Krasnoyarsk will receive and has already received the sports-oriented, state-of-the-art, advanced sports facilities where test competitions took place. No doubt it will influence the engagement of grassroots population in sports and will also have a positive impact on the performance of our Russian athletes. And this is about social activities via sport. This legacy is a multidimensional, multifaceted. I would like to talk about this sports legacy. Athletes coming over and enjoying quality accommodation. This competition is up to international standards, and there is still room for improvement. We consider the Universiade as a platform for Olympic Games. We have a number of cases where Universiade participants are becoming Olympic champions, world champions. People accompanying the athletes, the coaches, and other personnel. This is also about accumulation of knowledge. And the most important item is the so-called social heritage or legacy. These are thousands of volunteers enrolled in the volunteer program, those participating in the opening ceremony, maintenance of the facilities, meet and greet services. The directorate of university is now active. All these people engage in these activities. They become cultured. This is a way to boost their patriotic mood. They consider themselves to be part of this big, united team. The effort is to show that Russia is a country without borders. We're very welcoming, eager to share its hospitality. Regarding the economic hospitality, this should not be overlooked. Let's consider the case of the city of Almaty. We also consider the case of Kazan. The tourist flow increased several-fold. More people engage in grassroots sport. This results in better performance in the workplace, and I mean it. So this legacy, this heritage is multifaceted, it is multidimensional. As pointed out before, this platform, this program, this follow-up Siberia is giving a spark. This is like adding fuel to the fire in the positive sense of the word. The organizational committee has been working for over 5 years, and the team members, the employees, they did really a good job to tell more about the hospitable Russia, about the region. If you hold the same kind of survey held at the Krasnoyarsk International Forum, I just came from the Sport Accord International event. This project is very well known. This is not frowned upon. This is not considered as bears approaching Faust and all these stereotypes. Everything here is real. Real people, real project, real responsibility. I would put it like that. If Russia is going to do something, if Krasnoyarsk is going to do something with the support of the Norilsk Nickel Company, we are 100% sure tangible results will follow. Regarding communication, I would like to come up with a Sport Accord conference. Mr. Buck attended, the IOC had attended the Sport Accord conference. The key today is communication, and building bridges is key. Being outspoken, being able to listen to others attentively, with all the due respect to the follow-up internet platform. Through this project, we call upon people to have more face time, to have one-to-one offline communication. When you share the same accommodation facilities, living in the same village, when you're able to communicate at sports facilities. And this is unique rapport, this is unique person-to-person communication. We should not be limited to this online space. And we will keep up our effort together to prepare for the Universiade in 2019. I'm not only proud as a Siberian, I'm Siberian as a Muscovite, and I'm also proud as the president of this international federation. This is a project we will be proud of, so the whole world will. This is very right. This is a very real outlook, not virtual, not blurred. As you all know, the Olympic Channel is being promoted actively, and we're close to signing an agreement. And I believe these stories regarding the preparations, we should try to pump in as many of those stories as possible. This will be another possibility for users to get to know the athletic Russia and know more about the project. Yes, the youth impressions are the most vivid ones. Those attending the youth festival in the 90s, all those people will not be able to consider Russia as a hostile country. This is something that lays the basis for strong communication. Maxim Razov, the Director General of the Directorate of the University, was not able to join us today, but we have a short interview regarding the influence of these competitions on the sports lifestyle of Russia. Let's watch the video. Dear Maxim Sergeyevich, in your opinion, what are the stereotypes associated with Siberia, with our cry, with our regions? There are plenty of stereotypes out there, and we should keep destroying these stereotypes and prove otherwise. Few people know where Siberia is, where Krasnoyarsk is. We are actively taking this. The Economic Forum and the Universiade and other events, these are a good case to show where the Yenisei Siberia, the Krasnoyarsk city and the Krasnoyarsk region are. And second, a number of people do not know that the Krasnoyarsk region is a huge region with rich history. And most importantly, it has a very large area, a number of high population. Another stereotype is that people fail to know that in Siberia there are comfortable modern countries. People are amazed to see the beautiful nature, the cities. This is a comfortable place to live, to be, to host large events, not only athletic events, but athletic events in the first place. This is a good place to have family with. This is my home, Siberia. I was born here, I'm working here. This is the wide scope. This is the power, the energy of the nature, of people, of the river. These are all very important factors. And most important to me, this is where I will live. This is what Siberia means to me today. Siberia, the place of power, of force. I like this idea, and it makes people very enthusiastic. Larissa Gennadievna, we did not mention the most important thing. What will be the super prize for the most creative, the most active people on this platform? It was already mentioned today that it would be great if other participants, not only follow-up Siberia participants, could spend their time not only on social media, but we would like them to engage in people, person-to-person, face-to-face communication. This should not be limited to virtual, online communication. Real relations are established in real life. So for the participants of the competition, which is mainly hosted online, in order for them to get this positive experience establishing communication, as a prize we offer visits to various cities of Siberia, including the Krasnoyarsk city, including the University 8. I'm not going to unveil all the secrets. We will gradually make these bonuses and prizes available. I hope this will be an important additional attractive factor. As mentioned by Ilya, having such an intriguing competition is a good thing to have. At least you have some kind of surprise. We will have a number of surprises in store for you, for those who are willing to participate and are active. Let's talk about Siberia. Let's show something. This Bobrovy Log facility, it was visited by our camera crew. They had an opportunity to talk to the visitors. In their opinion, what people think about Siberia, and Siberia really is to these people. Let's watch the video now. A true Siberian. What is a true Siberian? Brave, courageous, and for everything. Having no fear. No fear for the cold. Active, positive, tough, and resistant cold. Thus, they dive into an ice opening in wintertime.
Да, это холодно, это правда.
Indeed, it is cold.
На самом деле...
Indeed, this video inspires a number of people. A question from Spain, Cope, by Ricardo Maki. I've been to northern cities several times, Norilsk and Dudinka. I know that in the curling international competition is held there for several years. How does this help to develop remote Siberian areas and cities? It's been only 3 years. In late May, the third curling competition, an international competition, will be held. What is the history behind? Nornikel, jointly with the government of the Russian Federation, held this big ice palace that never existed before. This gave the place a new life. Besides figure skating and hockey, you have curling, quite an affordable sport, popular in Dudinka, and having a great potential for engaging schoolboys and schoolgirls as well as the youth. This is when we got this idea to invite athletes so that those in for curling can see how brilliant it is to achieve great success. Such this competition began. I would like to point out that unlike Norilsk, Dudinka is a small town, and there was no hospitality infrastructure back then. This is when the authorities, the municipal authorities, realized that the best teams gathered in Dudinka to take part in the competitions. They felt quite awkward about the way things were there in Dudinka. That's why next year, 1 year after, hotels were refurbished. 2 new cafeterias or cafes were opened. And last year's, the 2017 competitions were perceived as a huge impetus to boosting the tourist infrastructure and hospitality in the region. When new athletes come over this year, we are absolutely sure that the city is ready, because 1 more hotel has been refurbished, 2 more restaurants were opened, and everyone is eager to welcome the athletes. Now curling is a popular sport in Dudinka, and we hope that Dudinka will become a Russian national curling sports facility.
They just had not believed that they would be able to welcome these athletes, and when they received them, they launched it. And I believe that last year they received 8 teams and now 15 teams. And yes, last year we had a tournament, and this year mixed teams. And Nornikel has supported these tournaments all 3 years running. And we believe that it is a really robust technology to develop territories, because sports create unique opportunities to attract tourists and develop infrastructure. And we are confident that Universiade will bring its positive impetus to Krasnoyarsk as well. And it's not by chance that we recalled Kazan as an example of a successful event hosting, Universiade hosting, and we believe that Dudinka will also grow into a city hosting international tournaments. Thank you. And today we have representatives of international mass media as well, and there are some questions, and I'm voicing the questions that deal with the topic directly. So, Yelena, a question to you. Is there a place for Russian participants in the program? That is a question from vesti.ru. Yes, naturally. First of all, it is addressed to Russian participants, because our students from all over the Russian Federation have to be able to have this opportunity to take part in this competition and in the Universiade itself. They will send either their video clip or their photo with some interesting signature, and afterwards they can become prize winners and win a trip to Universiade and back. Yes, that is important. That is important because our colleague has said that he's willing to go there, but we can provide this return trip so that a person can be sure that he will not be forced to dive into the ice-cold water. And when we woke up in the morning today, there was some mist on the grass. I believe that we could have taken a picture of this and sent to Follow Up Siberia with a signature like the sun has gone out and the snow is falling from the green grass. Oleg, and what do you think the program mission for international university sport is? Well, we have discussed it, but still there is this question from Sport Express. I'm always forgetting to turn on the mic as I'm nervous. So I believe that, like any platform, it needs some information content. And the International Federation this year and next year is planning to run several international events that I believe would be really informative and interesting for the platform users. First of all, we have planned, and there is a specific decision of the International Federation, and we have sent our recommendations to the organization committee on running a torch relay. You understand that it is an inherent part that contains both international and Russian block to it. And international block is really important because we are now planning to implement it within the campus concept. So we will not arrange movement along the street with a torch, because we believe that it has to be addressed at students in universities. And we are planning to light the torch in Turin, the venue of the first Universiade, and then together with the organizing committee we are planning to visit Lucerne in Switzerland, the next city of Universiade, and then go to Almaty and Harbin, previous Universiade venues. Therefore, we would be able to show that Universiade has a legacy, and we would be able to unite students, and we would be able to talk about ourselves and our project and embrace as many participants as possible. And another large international project is a FISU forum that will take place in August in Krasnoyarsk, putting together representatives from many countries, and there will be good communication there, and there will be a lot of contenders for the prizes that we have mentioned today. And the third project has been running with the support of Nornikel and the government of the Republic of Tatarstan. That is the so-called Leaders Academy and Volunteer Leaders Academy, and we're now launching FISU Ambassadors project, and representatives from 100 countries who are best representatives of universities will gather together, and we will talk about Krasnoyarsk there, and there will be a delegation from Krasnoyarsk, and we believe that FISU ambassadors are those people that have to actively participate in social media and promote this project there. So what I see as the benefit for world university movement is this project as a good chain in our network. Thank you. And a question to Niaz. Why did you decide to call this program like that? That is a question from TASS agency.
You know, it's clear after the conversation today that I'm the one who needs to follow up Siberia, so you've made that clear to me, and I promise I will. One of the great things about this project, from my point of view, is it's very dynamic, and the fact that we're focusing on young people and the tools that they use to communicate, which is through digital platforms, through social media, it allows us not to have a story that starts and stops. It gives us the opportunity to have a continual story that really gives people the experience from the student's point of view, and from all the people that are going to be lucky enough to get to go to Siberia and experience this great journey and see new things for themselves. So for me, in a way, the name is about that it will always be followed up. You will always get updates, you will be able to follow the stories, and therefore it won't stand still. And I think from the audience who are watching, who are not participating themselves, the name generates positive action for them. It inspires them also to follow up, to check out Siberia for themselves. So together, that's what we hope this media campaign will inspire people to see for themselves and to consider perhaps Siberia as a destination for themselves.
Спасибо. Спасибо.
Thank you very much. It is all clear, but we tried to translate this into Russian, but we understand that follow-up is an international word and international calling, and Niaz was totally right that it is a positive calling targeted at positive communication and young people, and they don't have questions in terms of how to translate it into Russian, like join us or follow us up. Well, again, follow up. And there is a term today, followers, and that is a term clear to young people who use social media. Yes, so you were absolutely right to name this project like that. I would like to thank all the key panelists, and we have a chance to say a couple of words that would be like a correct setting for those who are now trying to join this internet platform. So what can they find at home or around themselves in the street? What is associated with Siberia? So what can happen next year? What is the brightest impression? I'm always trying to see in the future. March 2019, what kind of Siberia should we see? What impression should we have? As it will determine the sensation of the people who would go there, and it will set the tune. So like a spark from the future, just briefly. So for you, so your impressions are the brightest, I believe, will be, because you will be there for the first time. So I believe you will be happy to go back home.
From our point of view at Euronews, it's an exciting opportunity for us to deliver stories that people will have never seen. And I think what's nice about this project is we're looking beyond just next year, 2019. We're looking at the moment to invite people from all over the world to Siberia, but in the future we may be looking to invite people, young people, to different destinations. So it has momentum. And again, this is ultimately about bringing people together to share their views and to bring them closer together. And it's something that Euronews as a platform feels quite passionately about.
Пожалуйста.
I hope that our project, Follow Up Siberia, will set a new standard for preparing and hosting universities as not only a sport and youth project, but a project that would teach people to meet each other better and build rapport better, communicate better, and I believe we have it all for that. Thank you. And to me, Universid next year will be held well and at high quality if we will not simply have the remaining inhabitants in Siberia, but also people coming from Moscow and St. Petersburg who will be willing to live there, young, promising, energetic people. Thank you very much. I have two wishes. First of all, there is a highly respectable company, Sportical, that runs the ranking of the best sport event globally. And now at Sport Accord, they declared that Taipei Summer University became second, and there were dozens of events, and we were second after World IAAF Championship. And I would like Krasnoyarsk University to top this ranking, not only as the best winter university, but as the best sport event globally. And the second wish, like we always say at a closing ceremony, that this university is the best in history. I mean, that is what we say at FISU. So I would like to have this privilege and happiness to voice that at the closing ceremony at Krasnoyarsk University, that it is really the best. And I personally would like to add that I would like all the messages to be positive and creative and unifying and not breaking us apart. That is really critical, because each of us needs to bring their piece into our common deed, because we all live on one planet, which is one for us all. And I have been to Ethnicity Museum in Krasnoyarsk, and I was impressed when I saw the map where the whole Europe was laid on the map of Krasnoyarsk Krai, and they all fit in. So do you understand the responsibility that we are carrying? I was really shocked, and there was Germany, Italy, and France just laid over Krasnoyarsk Krai only. So let us try to seek for these positive and bright and light things and share them with each other, smiling, thinking about each other. That is really crucial, and I hope that your idea will be followed up, because it would be really great if this campaign is carried out in all countries of the world, when we can talk and tell about each other, taking this information from the first hand, not only from the information news. Thank you very much. Join in, follow up Siberia, visit Siberia. Siberia is purity, freshness, courage, strength. And you know, this overlaying of two maps can be interpreted differently, but let us interpret it like Krasnoyarsk Krai is ready to host everyone, whole Europe and everyone beyond, and it would be really great. Thank you very much, and I wish you good luck and success.